Welcome to Lesson 1, Paper Timesheet Training for IHSS Providers. Knowing how to fill out your timesheet correctly will help prevent any delays in the processing of your timesheet. In this lesson, we will discuss how to fill out your timesheet correctly and provide tips to make it easier. Please note, in addition to this training video, free assistance is available through your local IHSS office, the WPCS hotline for WPCS providers, or your union if you have questions about your timesheet. Here's an example of what your timesheet looks like. It's a single sheet of paper with a front and back side. Both sides of the timesheet contain instructions for you to follow when filling out your timesheet. You will record the hours you work on the front side of the timesheet. After your timesheet has been filled out, you and your recipient will sign and date the back of your timesheet and then mail it to the Timesheet Processing Center for processing. Here is some important information about your timesheet. You will receive 2 of these timesheets every month. One timesheet is for the first half of the month, which is from the 1st to the 15th, also known as Part A, and the second timesheet is from the 16th through the end of the month, also known as Part B. The days on the timesheet are split up into what is called a work week. A work week begins at 12 a.m. Sunday and ends at 11:59 p.m. Saturday. If we take a closer look at the front of the timesheet, there is important information provided to you about your timesheet. You can see your provider number and name. You can see the case number and the name of the recipient this timesheet is for. You can see the program type, which will tell you if this is an IHSS or WPCS timesheet. You'll also see the timesheet number. You can see the pay period that this timesheet is for and the number of remaining hours that are available to you when this timesheet was issued. When you receive a timesheet, it's important to confirm that the information in this section is correct. That way, you know you're filling out a timesheet that belongs to you and is for the correct pay period. This is also helpful information to have if you need to contact the county or union for questions. Each timesheet contains the days for one pay period. Each day in the pay period has a corresponding field where you will enter any time you worked. Fields where there are already zeros printed in them are days outside of the pay period. You should not enter any time in these boxes or write over the pre-printed zeros. There is a field called Claimed at the top of each work week. This claimed field will tell you how many hours you've already claimed in this work week on previous timesheets. This information will help you keep track of how many hours you have worked for each work week. When you're ready to fill out your timesheet, here are some instructions to follow to help prevent any issues when the timesheet is processed. Make sure you use a black ballpoint pen only. Enter your time in hours and minutes. Do not use decimals. If you enter your time using a decimal format, such as writing 8.75 hours, your timesheet will not process correctly. Only write one number in each box. If you didn't work on a certain day, write clear zeros or leave it blank. Do not add a comment to the timesheet explaining why you didn't work that day. If you do make a mistake, neatly cross out the number and write the correct number in the corner of the box. Do not use any whiteout. You can contact the county to request a new timesheet if you feel you've made a mistake on your timesheet that can't be corrected. When you fill out your timesheet, it's quite helpful to track your time on a monthly calendar first and then transfer the time to your timesheet. This makes it easier to track your weekly hours. Remember, a work week is Sunday through Saturday. You can see here on the calendar some highlighted work weeks and their corresponding work week on the timesheet. Now we'll demonstrate how to transfer the time you've entered on a calendar to your timesheet for work week 1 of a Part B timesheet. For example, here is a calendar that a provider has used to write the hours they worked from the 16th to the 30th. It's the end of the pay period, and they are ready to fill out their timesheet. They locate the hours they recorded on the 16th, and then enter that amount on the 16th on the timesheet. They do the same for the 17th, and then the 19th. They are using black ink, writing clearly, writing in hours and minutes, and writing only one number in each box. The total field at the bottom of each work week on the timesheet is optional and can be left blank. However, in this example, the provider has calculated the total number of hours they worked during that work week. This field is here to assist with the tracking of weekly hours. On this slide, the hours worked from the provider's calendar in the week from the 23rd to the 29th has been added to work week 2, and the hours from the 30th has been added to work week 3. Please note that in this example, the pay period ends on the first day of work week number 3, where the provider has claimed 6 hours. No more hours will be entered on this timesheet where there are pre-populated zeros. Using a calendar to track your time makes this much easier to see. Once the timesheet is completed, both you and your recipient must sign the back. This is very important, as a timesheet that is not signed by both the provider and recipient will not be processed. When you received your timesheet, you should have also received a return envelope addressed to the Timesheet Processing Center. Detach your timesheet by cutting or gently tearing along the dotted line and place it in the return envelope. Here are some additional tips. Do not fold the timesheet. Do not add any comments to the timesheet. And do not send any additional documents with the timesheet. Doing any of these things can cause delays in the processing of your timesheet. Seal the envelope and mail it to the Timesheet Processing Center. Once it's received at the processing center, the envelope is opened and then scanned by a scanner and then sent for processing. We recommend filling out your timesheet and mailing it in at the end of every pay period on the 1st and 16th of every month. Once your timesheet has been processed, your timesheet for the next pay period will be sent to you in the mail and your payment will begin processing as well. Now let's go over some of the more common reasons that timesheets are delayed or rejected. Entering time outside of the pay period or writing over the pre-printed zeros. Make sure you only claim time on the dates that are in the pay period. Sloppy or unclear handwriting. If the handwriting isn't readable, the timesheet may not be processed. Not using black ballpoint pen. If you use a color other than black ink, the scanner will not be able to scan the timesheet correctly, and this can delay the processing. Adding comments to the timesheet. The scanner can only scan clear entries that you enter in the appropriate boxes. Adding other things to the timesheet can delay it. The most common reason that timesheets are rejected are missing signatures from either the provider, the recipient, or both. Your timesheet will not be processed by the scanner if there is a signature missing, so please remember to sign your timesheet and have your recipient sign it as well. Please remember to follow the instructions listed on the screen. If you have additional questions, please contact your local IHSS county office, the WPCS hotline if you're a WPCS provider, or your union. This concludes Lesson 1, Paper Timesheet Training for IHSS Providers. Please continue to view additional lessons in the training series to learn more about IHSS timesheets and related topics.